Welcome back to the Wombo Combo episode
Howdy.
6.
Yeah.
We've been away for a while. We took a little hiatus during MSI, and we took off vacation together
Yep.
to La La Land. Right,
Beautiful,
guys?
beautiful place.
Exactly. La La
No, I'm
Land,
just
best
kidding.
land.
We just decided not to cover international. It gets a little rough for NA fans. All right, so took a
I mean,
True.
hiatus.
at least not MSI.
We
Maybe Worlds.
we decided not to get tilted, chillax, and come back with a new split. And then we missed week 1, so now we're here on week 2. So let's
That's a
go.
good explanation of what happened. How are you guys doing? Doing today? We haven't done this in a while. It's a bit weird.
uh,
Good?
I'm
Yeah.
peachy, dude. I'm not great, dude. Honestly, I got 2 hours of sleep last night. It was rough.
You should have
Rough
been to
night,
bed
huh?
earlier, dude.
But no, dude, I went to bed on time. I just couldn't sleep.
Oh, got you, got you.
I feel you, dude. That happens to me every once in a while.
It was rough.
No, it was a pretty good day. Worked a little later.
Yeah, I didn't do much. I'm excited for the LCS to be back. Uh, not playing League for a little bit. Watching
We
LCS
did.
always gets me back into playing League or wanting to play League.
I
Um,
don't think any of us played League the entire time
On
MSI was
the
on, or we
been on
took a
the
break.
Valorant grind.
yeah, we've been playing a
We're
ton of
still we're still with
Valorant.
that Riot game, so we're
Yeah.
still under their spell, but just a different game.
Yeah, I'm excited
Um,
for the split though. It's a little bit longer, triple round
dude,
robin. I'm excited.
Carries
from a
over.
fan perspective, this split is gonna bang. But from a player perspective, I feel so bad
Oh,
for them.
playing every day.
27 games.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
And
rough.
it
That's
really
rough.
sucks for the bottom tier teams because they, you know, previous splits haven't carried over, but this one does. So it's
True.
Yeah, well, okay, true, but 8 teams making the playoffs, so
no, that's true. Yeah.
theoretically,
Yeah.
Golden Guardians is still in the playoff hunt. They're only 4 games behind.
Right.
We'll get to that later, but
And with this
I
many
just thought it was
games, you,
I
you
mean,
really never
yeah,
know what's gonna happen.
it's gonna be a crazy split. Like
exciting for sure.
1 week, and there's already too many games to keep track of.
Yeah, and a
It's
ton
ridiculous.
of roster moves, and that surprised some people.
Yeah, like with 5 whole roster moves, a ton of them,
Yeah, a
dude.
ton of
Well,
them, dude.
there's a couple big ones though.
A couple of big benchings.
Yeah, a
We'll
couple of
get to
big
that in a minute.
benchings.
Just quick update, a little new segments we're gonna do. We're gonna start doing power rankings weekly. Go through each team and give it a little power ranking. We didn't do that last split. And we're gonna do our MVP top 3. We're each gonna pick an MVP candidate each week and talk about them a little bit. So got some cool stuff coming your way, and let's just get this started, boys. So let's get right into the roster changes.
All right.
Sure.
Um, it's a new split and
New split and
new rosters.
mostly the same though.
Yeah, mostly the
Both
same.
the same.
We can talk about
Um,
the smaller ones first, and then
let's
get into
talk
the bigger
about
benches.
yeah. Well,
Cody, you're lagging for me.
not the stuff that's happening.
You lagged for a second.
Yeah,
You're gonna have
Am
to
I
repeat
good?
yourself.
yeah, you're good
Yeah,
now.
you can know.
Okay. Listen, let's talk about the stuff that happened during the actual break instead of the stuff that's happened in the past week.
Got you.
Sure. Oh,
So the main thing is 100 Thieves. I think that was
I think
there
Yeah,
were
that's the
three
biggest one.
teams that made changes, and 100 Thieves was the biggest one, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Brian, you want to go through their changes?
They picked up Abadage for mid lane.
yeah.
Hmm.
Honestly, I
Yep.
love the change. That's one thing
And
we
well,
talked about.
that's
100
that's not
Thieves.
it though. That wasn't
Is
their only change.
uh is it not?
No.
Oh wait,
Oh, come on.
they picked up
New head coach.
Reaper, right? Reaper.
Yeah, they
Oh
got a new head
yeah.
coach.
Right. They picked up Reaper as head coach.
I have to say
I
I
forgot
love
his name.
the mid lane pickup because last split we were talking about how 100 Thieves needed a new mid laner because they were just going back and forth and they were struggling with the identity there. So I'm glad that they picked up someone that hopefully they can all rally behind.
Yeah, and I definitely think, aside from game one, I think that they definitely played solid. I mean, it's 1 week, and they didn't play the hardest teams. I guess they played Cloud9, but honestly, I don't know how strong Cloud9 is right now. So it'll
Yeah.
definitely be interesting to see how the split goes on. Because like Demonte played good during the start. I mean, he was never an issue at the beginning. It was just halfway through the split they started dropping games because the meta started shifting, and he did not have a wide champion pool. So it's going to be very interesting to see if this does in fact fix their problem. So interested about that. Uh, the next team here that made a change was Evil Geniuses. I'll take this one. I don't know how much you know about Danny, Trevor.
Isn't he he skipped academy. He was on their amateur team, right?
Did, yeah, yeah, yeah. So Danny replaced Deathly. They let Deathly go. Danny was a former prodigy player for them known as E.G. Shiro, which is actually weird because they used to have Kumo, who went by Shiro before he went to EG. So they've now had two players on their roster that used to have the name Shiro but changed when they got into actual LCS. That's
Hmm.
weird.
That
Very
is a
But
bit weird.
so Danny is known for his playmaking style ADK plays. A big highlight reel that he has, if you go on YouTube, is his Samira play. He got a Pinta in the Prodigy. I don't know who they play. Do they play other like young teams, or do they play academy teams? I don't know
I
who they
think they
played.
play
'Cause
academy teams. Was that like the scouting grounds?
it's proving
Oh,
grounds.
proving grounds. Yeah.
Yeah, they play. It's a mixture of like put together teams and academy teams.
So he looked by far the best in the prodigy scene. So the really young scene, the step under academy. He was by far the best AD carry. Um, and many people have thought he has been very skilled for a while. He's just a very young player. So they took a chance moving him up because they feel like his raw skill gives them a higher chance of winning, even though definitely was pretty consistent. He did not have a very high high. He didn't have a very high ceiling. So they made this move to hopefully get more of a carry style AD carry instead of that consistent player. Um, week one didn't look like it worked out too well. I don't put any blame on him though. It could just be how the team's gelling together and they're taking some time. So that's gonna be an interesting move down the split because I think if they drop to 7th or 8th, people are going to be very, very questionable about that, about moving him straight up from uh, the lower league instead of the academy league. So that's one to watch for. The next one was Golden Guardians.
Yeah,
Trevor.
they got rid of my boy Niles. I loved watching Niles play. It was always funny to see him just repeatedly die uh, every game. But they got rid of him. They picked up Solo, changed their support from Newbie to Chime, and Blaze Olive. He was in it last split. But I just want to give him a shout out for his Zoe game. It was disgusting.
Uh, Shout out to Blaze up. Yeah, no, Solo is definitely one of those players that has been stuck in academy, the academy woe, going back and forth, kind of like Cody's son and Demonte have been.
Hmm.
There's players where you could definitely look at all these rosters and be like, dude, Solo would definitely be better than this player and this player. Why is he not in the league? So I definitely think it's good that he's back in the league. He played very well when he played for FlyQuest. So I was
Yeah,
kind of upset when they got rid of him, but I mean
I think
I was
teams are
always
just
hoping
looking
he'd
for
come
like
back.
a star, though.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know.
think Solo is
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
but
flat
was Niles the
Solo's.
star?
No,
No,
but he was good in the collegiate scene.
but
there's nothing
I
wrong with taking chances on some of the younger players, but
Solo
yeah,
really
I think
didn't
if
do that
any
well this first week though. His best game that he did was on Nocturne. He went 4-4 or 4-4-4. And they ended up still
eh,
losing. It was against
he
TSM.
did better than Niles would have done,
He
though.
did better than Niles would have done. I'll admit that.
okay, look, I'm not saying Iconic's the worst jungler in the league, but if he had any of the academy junglers instead of Iconic, I think Solo would have done a lot better.
No, Solo's a great player for sure.
Um,
He's very, very consistent.
Now we get to get into the more controversial two two swaps.
Yeah, love the
Yeah.
controversial stuff.
So my main team Cloud9 made the best move of the offseason in benching
Then
the best AD carry in the league in Sven for King.
Yep.
While
yeah,
I did say I wanted King to be in the league last split, I did not
you got your
mean
wish.
I wanted him to replace Sven. So I'm still up in the air about it. I really hope King does well. Honestly, maybe he's better than Sven. There's a world in which he is. It's just gonna see how the team gels together because I felt like the team gelled pretty well with Sven.
I
So
mean,
it's
there's a
gonna be
reason he
very
got
interesting.
benched.
Yeah. What's wrong?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, everyone's talked about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be
Um,
attitude. I mean, he played well. I mean, it could be.
well,
It
we'll
could be.
talk about
Hey.
speculations
Yeah.
later,
Okay. Okay. I'll wait.
a little bit, because we're gonna have a lot of speculations for this one because we got nothing.
I don't know. TSM just seems to
Best
have
top
beaten him
laner in
so
the
hard.
league gets benched after one game, and I don't know. Okay, so the reason we have a ton to talk about here, I don't know how much Travis Gafford videos you guys watch. He
Good point.
interviewed Jat, I believe yesterday, and it came out today. In the interview, Jat said this was not a spur of the moment thing. This had been talked about for months now.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't watch all of it, but I watched
So
about half of it.
I'm not sure what is going on there, but there has to be something serious because while Sven, the benching, you're not going to lose a ton of games because of that, you know? Like, even if King's a step down, he knows how to play AD carry well enough where he can do the role of an AD carry.
Yeah, he
You're
won't get
talking
smacked every
about
game.
taking out Alfari, who has the best stats in the league, not just of top laners in the league. And
It's like taking out Blabber. It's like subbing out Blabber.
yeah,
Like he's the best
like
top laner in the league, and they
it's not
just
even close.
right.
They won a ton of games through
He was
Alfari last split.
yeah, of course, and he was literally up for MVP last split.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
It's weird.
and it is weird because so the big thing with Sven is everyone's speculating that it's attitude issues, right?
Yeah.
But that makes sense because there have been plenty of things in the past where people have come out and said Sven doesn't have the best attitude. He gets tilted very easily. He gets mad at teammates. And he just has a very competitive side, and sometimes he says the wrong thing. So right when Sven got benched, everyone automatically assumed. Everyone was like, okay, it's got to be attitude issues. He's had problems with it in the past. Maybe it's not a long-term thing. Alfari has never had issues. Even coming to Team Liquid, Jat had an interview a couple months after he came to Team Liquid, and they played. I think it was halfway through the split on Spring, and he talked about how Alfari is one of the most skilled and wonderful players he's ever been around. He said he's so nice, he's such a pleasure to work with, and all these praises for him.
yeah.
And then, literally 2 months later, you just randomly bench the guy, and you tell the whole league and all the fans you just can't talk about it. There's something going on, and you can't talk about it. And that's a huge red flag to me when teams say we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have their reasons. Sometimes it's for the best, but sometimes it's to save themselves. And I don't know what kind of situation this is. So
Uh,
it's going to be very interesting.
So they said that uh, Jenkins would be starting for the rest of week 1, right?
Initially, yes, but
Initially, but we don't know how long
there
it'll go.
haven't been any talks that how far he's getting his starting job back yet.
Wasn't there a C9 person who said Sven probably won't play for the rest of the season though?
Multiple actually. So Max Waldo hinted at it. He actually said it, but he was kind of joking, so no one could tell if he was being serious, if he was memeing. But he did say that he didn't think Sven would play the rest of the split, and it was kind of confirmed when Mithy had an interview yesterday evening, and he had said he's looking forward to seeing King grow and to seeing how he does come playoffs. So that kind of cements the fact that King will be in during playoffs. So,
Mithy's the coach. I forgot.
Yeah, that even makes it a
yeah,
little bit more
Mithy
How's
weird.
he?
actually
How's
said
he doing that to his boy? Golly.
there's actually a lot of things. I read a bunch of articles that said Sven and Mithy were never close outside of the game.
Really, I
Oh,
didn't know
maybe.
that.
Maybe.
Everyone thinks there's some big bromance, but even when Sven was on
They
TSM
literally
and Mithy
traveled
left,
across the ocean
well,
together.
that's literally because TSM wanted Mithy and they took Sven because of it. But even after Mithy left, Sven was talking about how he was sad to see Mithy leave, but he's always just looking forward to playing. He's never like he never gets too close to people because he said after he gets done playing League, like after his career's over, he said he doesn't even know if he'd hang out with anyone in particular he's played with.
Oh wow.
He just he's that type of person who's gets really close to you on the Rift, but he knows it's a business, and so he's not there to make friends. He's there to win games.
I reckon.
So I don't know. It's weird, but the way everyone's talking with the King situation, it seems like not only did the coaches decide, but the team sat down and talked about it and also decided. I don't know how much Vin was a part of this, so maybe he was a part of it too. Maybe he was like, "Yeah, I see where you guys are coming from, and I totally understand that." But everything in that situation seems like it's being worked out correctly.
Hmm.
Doesn't seem like there's any bad blood yet. No one's come out and said anything bad about Sven. Sven's not come out and said anything bad. Everyone talks about how they love playing with him and how he's very skilled, but they just talk about how they thought King gives him a better opportunity, and they wanted to see if they were right, and so they're giving him a chance. And that's what Blabber said in the interview today, which is to me why I don't know honestly, because originally I did think it was an attitude issue, but then after the Blabber interview, he kind of hints at maybe there's more. It was more than a attitude issue. Like maybe an attitude issue was a problem, but maybe they'd had an ongoing problem with the team, and they think maybe the communication could be better, and maybe a fresh 80 carry could help them improve more.
Yeah. I mean, he did say scrims were really bad in the video in the interview.
Hmm.
So it might just be like something happened in scrims. They weren't performing well. Maybe they just tried King and it worked out well in scrims. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
it's really hard to know.
It
I
is
also
hard to
think that's
know.
hard than like the way scrims are going. I wish teams were more open about how their scrims are going, just to give an inside
Well,
look
like,
to the. I know some you can't, right? I know some people
well,
are.
it's
They'll be
it's
like, well,
mostly you're not supposed to because it's very bad for the league. Medios and Double have talked about it one time, and they were talked about how um, leaking scrim results is never a good idea because one, it affects the mental state of the people who lost in the scrims, and two, the community always feels like they have to chime in on whatever anyone says.
yeah,
So people leak like fake stuff about scrims and stuff because
yeah,
like if they actually knew that a team went 0 and 16 in scrims, like you know how Reddit is, they'd be
yeah.
all over that team. It'd be awful.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're
And
right.
so it's just like a mutual thing between people. Like you don't leak your scrims because that tells how other people's scrims are going too.
Yeah, and
yeah.
it creates expectations that
Might not
you
follow
know,
up on stage.
yeah, I mean, you leak scrims that are going really well, and then you don't do well on stage, and you're just gonna get you know huge backlash from everybody.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's best just to keep it silent, and then just perform on stage or whatever.
Yeah. So those were
Because
the roster
right,
moves.
yeah.
Sorry, I
No,
didn't
no, no.
mean to
I was,
cut
I
you
was
off.
just gonna say. I mean, at the end of the day, people are trying new things in scrims, and
Hmm.
I mean, it is
Yeah,
it
for
is
sure.
Yeah,
practice, but it's not like a serious game. Like people are experimenting. So
yeah, you're right.
Those were the roster moves. The split coming in. Now we're going to talk about how those roster moves and other things have impacted, and we're going to go into the standings and a week recap.
yeah,
Yeah,
Uh, just I want to go through quickly and just read off the teams in order. One of you.
yeah. I got
I
it. I
don't care
got it.
which one. Go ahead.
So first place, we got the boys. TSM pulling in a 3-0 week. First week, good to be back. First time they've led. Had sole possession of first place
Just
this
be
season.
quick.
This season.
Just be quick, Trevor. You're just reading off the teams, and the records.
Fine, fine. They're 15-6. Second place, C9, 14-7. I'm saying the records for the week. Went 1 win, 2 losses. Third, there's a three-way tie for third. 100 Thieves, TL, and Dig, all 13-8. 100 Thieves lost one, won two. Uh, TL lost two and won one. Dignitas won two and lost one. A tie for sixth place as well. Two teams is EG and Immortals, both 10-11. EG went 0-3. Immortals went 3-0. And then last three teams are FlyQuest, CLG, and Golden Guardians. FlyQuest being 8-13, having 2 wins. CLG being 5-16, having 3 losses, and Golden Guardians being 4-17, having 1 win and 2 losses.
All right. So obviously, big news. Highlight reel. TSM on top after their
Yeah,
disastrous week from Cloud9.
that's right. TSM #1.
the best thing that's happened, the split
All right,
in the
so we're
week.
gonna go through each team down the line. This is why I just wanted you to say
Yeah, I
what their
got you. I
record was.
got you.
I didn't want you to deep dive. We're just gonna go through each one and kind of describe their week and what we saw from them and something to think about going forward. So TSM obviously went 3-0. They played Team Liquid, Evil Geniuses, and Golden Guardians. So I'd say a mediocre week. Not the hardest, not the easiest.
Yeah,
And they performed pretty well in most games.
they were behind, I think, in one game at least,
They
They
but
were.
were they were
they
a
ended
little
up
bit
So,
behind against Golden Guardians at the beginning.
right, and but
so
they
what would you guys pinpoint their biggest strength this weekend?
Team fighting.
What did they have that other people did?
Their team fighting was
Team
really
fighting?
good. Even
I
Spica tweeted um, that they really focused on their team fighting because that is
it's power of friendship.
the power of friendship.
The
Dude, there's
power
like
of friendship is
there's 4 teams claiming that right now.
Spica
I don't know.
tweeted that
Maybe it's a
that's
meme.
why they lost in the
Maybe.
midseason showdown. Was their team fighting was just really bad, and they said that they've been team fighting really well. So I
That is
think
not
Lost
why they
played
lost.
Lost played really well this weekend.
yeah, Lost
He
did play
did.
well.
Yeah, but I mean the bot lane in general played really really well.
Yeah. So my just right off the bat, what I saw was they had amazing synergy this week. Something they did lack in a lot of last split. So it was good to see them come back and play strong. I know this is one of the teams that really grinded. They didn't make any off-season moves. They stuck with what they had. They felt like they have the materials to win, and so I felt like they really practiced. Something to look forward to here, though. Do you think they fixed their issues, Brandon?
It's really hard to say after 1 week. I mean, I think after the first week, I'm a lot more confident. Yeah, I think they played really well. But TSM is kind of a wishy-washy team, so it's really hard to tell after 1 week. I mean, they have on like even last, but they had weeks where they looked really good, and then the next week they would play bad. So
Yeah,
um
I agree with Brennan.
and yeah, and I mean they were behind in the Golden Guardians game. They were able to come back, but for a little bit it was a little shaky. So I don't know. It like I said, it's hard to tell, but I am more confident than I was at the end of last split. So
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Brandon on that. It's hard to say that they fixed their issues after 1 week. Uh, if they're still doing this at the end of the first round robin, I'll say yeah they fixed their issues. Or even like 4 weeks in, I guess that might be the full round robin. I'll say
uh, did Speaker play Udyr 3 times?
he played Udyr twice and he
Twice.
played Rumble once.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure if he's playing the new junglers like Rumble Morgana, but I
he
guess
did
he
good
is.
on Rumble. He went six and
And
three.
I'm not even sure if
I
Morgana
think,
played at all.
yeah, I don't think Morgana's meta anymore. I think
Yeah,
they
probably
nerfed
not.
her.
Yeah,
No, I don't think so.
I know Karthus was played jungle in one
Um,
game,
Yeah.
which is not meta, I guess. But anyway,
I
that's
agree.
besides the point.
Next is Cloud9. Like you said, they went 2-1. They lost against Golden Guardians and 100 Thieves, and beat Team Liquid. Um,
Right.
so in their win, I mean, they looked very good, but in their losses, they didn't look too good.
Yeah.
So it's very hard. This team, it's hard to say where they're at right now. They had the least practice coming in. I know you have MSI, and they had all that practice. But the big thing that most people don't understand is that MSI was played 3 patches behind the patch they're on right now, which is a pretty big gap. Like coming in MSI, they were 1 patch behind, and it said that set them back so far. And then coming into the regular split, they have even less practice, and they're 3 patches behind. That's got to be even worse.
Yeah,
Um,
and they had a lot less like they had a less break. You know, they had a lot less break. I think when did MSI end? Like 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah,
yeah,
two
Like
three weeks ago.
yeah,
like
and they
and they have
they gave
you
their
know they
players the week off because they didn't
yeah
want them to get burnt out.
yeah. So they
Two
get
weeks,
1 week
yeah.
off versus like every other team getting like a month.
And that's what and Mithy
So
talked about that in his interview. They tried to give their players as much time off as possible. So
but
even
I
going
mean
into MSI, they didn't start practicing for MSI until the week of MSI.
yeah, but
They
it's
got there late.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like they were really trying to give them a break, even though they weren't getting one. So
Right.
the whole quarantining, MSI is usually a good thing, but I think the whole quarantining made it to where these players were either going to be unpracticed or burnt out. You didn't really have a in
Yeah.
between
hmm
there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. They had I mean, they get back and then they like you said they had the week off, but I don't know. It's they almost have to start practicing immediately with being 3 patches behind. You know, like these other teams had been playing solo queue on the current patches like every day, and they get back from MSI, which was 3 patches behind. So they basically have to jump right in. You know,
And that's
I
the
don't know.
thing. People, a big thing that I didn't realize until I did some research is LCS scrims actually started during MSI. So LCS teams started their scrims a month ago during MSI. So it's not like there was a giant overlay where, oh wow, Cloud9's getting all this practice and the rest of the teams are just taking it
Yeah.
off. It's like, no, Cloud9 has to go to this tournament, and they're starting a little earlier, but they also
Mhm.
have to finish. And then I think it was a 2 week gap. So you have these 2 weeks where Cloud9's getting off, but all the rest of the teams are now 2 weeks into scrimming.
Right.
And
I mean,
so
international experience is good, but yeah, they're kind of playing catch up when they got back.
yeah, and it's another disadvantage for NA because obviously NA started the quickest after MSI. Uh, I
hmm
know LPL and I think LCK both start this week. Um, so they're only a couple days better
LEC as
than
well. So
NA.
LEC starts
But
this weekend.
EU doesn't even start till Friday. so they get a whole extra
Right.
week off.
Whole week.
Not to mention EU, like they're really just they get a whole extra week off than the rest of the leagues, and not to mention they're already playing on the same server as MSI. They could have stayed in Iceland and still scrimmed the teams from Europe because they didn't change servers.
I didn't even think about that.
I don't think they
But
would have,
yeah,
but
yeah, no,
No,
they
they'd
probably
probably
there's
just
no
come
way
off.
they
scrimming
they
on
would
the
have
MSI.
they
Yeah,
would have been scrimming on the old
no,
patch.
no,
But
yeah,
but
they.
I understand the point.
Anyway, the point is, it's hard to tell how good Cloud9 actually is right now. Obviously, they had some underlying issues that you never want to see, even with an unpracticed team. But
Hmm.
they are bringing
And,
in a new player,
and that whole
and
yeah, that adds a whole new layer. Bringing in not even a player, but a rookie player, someone
yeah.
who hasn't played in
Yeah.
LCS. So it
So the
you
thing
know
I have looking for them going forward, do you guys think, and you don't have to answer it this week, this is more of a look at this going on into the weeks. That's what these are. These aren't, you don't have to necessarily answer them this week. Do you think King makes them a better or worse team?
I
And
don't know.
in my eyes, just the difference between King and Sven, just right quick, I think he has a higher skill cap. Yeah, I think he has better mechanics. He doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the resume. He doesn't have the consistency as Sven though. So
mhm.
I think it's hard to say that King is making the team worse when one of the worst performing players this week for C9 was Perks.
oh, for sure.
Um, so I don't, I don't know because I think King is holding his own so far. I don't think there's
He
been
played
a
well. I mean,
yeah
he had one game that was
shaky.
yeah, but the other ones, I mean, he played pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, that I don't
and
know how
I'm not
that.
sure that Sven would have made a difference in the games they lost. So,
Yeah, that game versus TL, dude. He had this one amazing ult on Kai'Sa. He got right in between tactical and Jensen and killed them both, and it was really nice. So he definitely showed a little flashes of some good mechanicals
mechanicals.
of mechanics in week one.
Yeah.
But he did seem a little nervous, and he did make a little bit of mistakes. So I'm looking for him to improve. But I think he might have a higher ceiling than Sven. I think he has a lower floor, but I think he's one of these new age AD carries. He's like FBI or tactical.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have the raw skill of these old players. Uh, they just they go for these flashy plays too much sometimes, and so sometimes you have the tactical Malphite ults, and they throw games or something. And the way I would look at it is, I think the new players play a lot more Wild Turtle style, the more of the flashing in to get the kills
Right.
style, instead of playing the old ways of like sneaky and just
That's
trying to outlane the opponent and trying to take that into team fights.
LPL style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the aggressive style.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he's definitely because he's always been like a thing that excites me about King, and I can go on about this. In OS, he played with FBI. He played with was Lost in OS. He was right. Is that
Yes,
you guys are TSM fans? Come on now.
Lost was an
Yes.
OCE. Yes.
He
Lost.
was at us. Yeah.
Um, he played with all these players, these 80 carriers who honestly, FBI tactical and Lost I think are the three best up and comers, and you got Neo in there as well. I don't know where Neo came from. I know tactical didn't come from OS, but two of those three players played alongside in the same league as King, and I think King was by far the best during that time. He's also older than them. Give him, he is the same age as them, so he is pretty old. I mean, pretty old. He's still younger than all of us, but like still. Well, not Trevor. Trevor's pretty young. I forgot. I keep forgetting Trevor's like 10 years old. So anyway, so everywhere he's gone, he's been one of the best. So I definitely think he has what it takes. And I think if he can play at the FBI level, then I think he's a definite upgrade as far as team play.
Mhm.
Not that Sven's bad, but I just feel like Sven's best days are behind him, and he's always going to be consistent, and he's always going to be able to go up with any AD carry, pretty much in the world. And he's maybe not going to have these insane advantages, but he's going to be consistent. I think the new age AD carries are these players that can definitely go up against them as well. And some games they're going to get dumpstered by him, but some games they're going to make them look like they're bronze AD carries. And I don't know. It's exciting to me. I'd rather have one of those coin flip 80 carries than a consistent one because coin flips are the ones that get you the pentakill.
I mean, I
Even
reckon
though Zane got two in one series.
Yeah.
we can go on to 100 Thieves. What do we think about their weekend? I mean, going back to
100
the
Thieves is
C9 thing, they kind of waxed C9. I mean, they're showing some promise.
they did. Like Cloud9 though, I think it's very hard to estimate this team. Um, their new star mid laner played Karma 3 games in a row. Like you didn't get a feel for how good he is at all.
No.
Like he was on support duty all weekend, and that's going to change sometime. And so it's interesting to see if this, because it puts you in the situation again where the team did well when Demonte sat there and babysat every other player on the team. The team did well, but when he had to play for his own, the team started doing worse and worse. So we haven't really got to see if the team can hold their own if Abadage has to just focus on laning and 1v1ing his opponent. Because all he's done is babysit the team so far. So it's very hard read on this team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, they look good. They look good this week for the most part. But yeah, it's really hard to base stuff off week 1 too because I mean
Sure.
roster changes and then I don't know.
And this
It's just
is
like go ahead.
particularly hard. I mean, I think this one's particularly hard just because there's so much that's different, like meta wise. Like
Mm.
ending the split, you don't have a single jungler besides Udyr that was the same. Top lane, you have Gnar, but that's it. Now it's more
Yeah,
carry
I
top
mean,
laner.
right? They got like Gwyn and you're seeing a
Mhm.
lot of Diego.
Yeah,
He's
and that's what I was
everywhere.
gonna
Yeah.
say.
He's
I was
mid
gonna
lane,
say
jungle, top.
this is the first time coming into a split. There are two, like coming into a split change. There are two new champions that were not that were disabled for the previous split, but now are able to be played.
And
And
they're
it's
they're
intense, and they're both really meta.
and they're being played
So,
in multiple positions. They're
mhm.
easily flexible. So
Yeah.
I mean, just a TSM. What Huni and
POE played.
PoE played Viego, both of them.
And they both played different styles. Huni played tank, and Poe
Right,
played carry.
Yeah.
exactly. It's just crazy. And you've seen him in the jungle a few games even. I forget who
Mhm.
played him in the jungle, but
No, probably Dardoch.
think
Dardoch
it
pulled
was I think
out,
it was
dude.
Yeah. Dardoch
I think
played
it was
Dardoch
Dardoch.
pulled
Darius.
out the Darius, dude.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I
My
didn't.
he
man
played
pulled out the
Darius.
Darius.
Hmm. Well, yeah, but I mean, it's much more interesting as a fan watching games where you have
Oh, for
like
sure.
Gwyn, like Licorice played Gwyn really freaking well. Um, one of the games, and that was really fun to see. And it's a lot more interesting seeing Diego and Gwyn in the league. As annoying as they are to play against when you're playing league, it's really fun to watch when you're watching um the pros play the champions. So I'm really excited to see. Hopefully they stay in meta longer
Mhm.
I
and they
hope they
don't
do.
just get
They're
patched
entertaining to
out.
watch.
You
Yeah,
getting excited to play some League again, bro?
I mean I'm not opposed. I'm having a lot of fun with Valorant, but I mean I'm not opposed to playing League.
That's
Um,
good.
but yeah, I think that was really cool this weekend seeing some of these players and even like PoE is not even known for champions like Viego, and I think it's
Yeah.
really cool that he was able to bring out and play well on it too. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Hmm.
Next team, TL. I'm gonna go get something from over here. You guys go ahead and tackle TL.
Okay.
All right.
Um,
Yeah, you start. You want to
go
start
ahead,
out?
Trevor.
All right.
Thoughts
All
on
right.
TL?
Uh, or TSM smacked TL so hard that they benched Alfari.
Exactly. That's
That's
the biggest
it's what
takeaway right there.
it's what it looks like. Um,
Yeah, no, they didn't play. I mean, TSM beat them. I think it was kind of close for a little bit, but then TSM kind of ran away with the game, and then after that they took out Alfari. So it's really hard. I mean, it's really hard to judge any team, but it's especially hard to judge TL right now because
yeah.
they went from the best top laner in the league to
So,
Jenkins,
yeah.
who played well, uh, but
I
I was not expecting
yeah. I
anything
don't
from
know a lot
Jenkins.
about
So
Jenkins.
um, yeah, it's going to be really hard to judge TL's performance, and hopefully Alfaro comes back. I would hate to see him out of the league for a whole split, but I mean,
Yeah, I do hope he
Jenkins played
comes
well
back.
though. Jenkins played well the 2 games. He didn't play exceptionally well or anything, like, but he held his own, and um, yeah,
Dude, Perks was slopping around.
yeah, we were just talking about it's especially hard to judge TL based on their roster change. After Trevor said
Yeah.
TSM smacked TL so hard they benched Alfari.
Yeah,
So
dude, honestly, that's been a lot of meme this week. But like the thing that actually doesn't make sense to me is Alfari's the only one who played good. Like
right. So see
in
that
the
one for
in
me.
TSM game.
Yeah, that one for me just has to be attitude problem. I like Jenkins. I've never even heard of Jenkins really, so it doesn't
He's
make sense.
up and coming. Honestly, every single player on TL, every single player on EG, and every single player on Cloud9 could be considered for LCS roster. So it's not too far fetched that Jenkins is getting a starting spot.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah, but
far fetched that he's
over
replacing.
Alfari though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is far fetched that he's replacing the best top laner in the league.
I mean, right? That's the biggest thing, and it feels bad for Liquid because they just paid a lot of money to
Mhm.
get Alfari, and he did play one split, but it sucks. I guess I was telling Trevor I hope he does come back because I think it's just good
Oh,
for the
me
league.
too. I drafted him
Yeah.
in fantasy. How do you think I
Exactly.
feel?
Well, you
No,
got
but
Jenkins.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
dude.
but yeah, it's hard to tell for TL. I think they'll get better. I mean, they have a really good roster, and hopefully Alfaro comes back, and once that happens, I think they'll pick it up
All right.
later on. But
Something I want to talk to you guys about. You ready?
yeah,
Yes.
How do you feel about Santorin?
I'm a fan. I don't think he's
I think he's mid
like
a mid
Blabber
tier
If
jungler.
level.
you
I mean, I
if
think
yeah,
he's
if
top
you had to
top.
rank him,
Mid
do
to
you think
high.
he is a top level jungler, a mid level jungler, or a bot tier jungler?
I'd say he's high, mid,
I think
low, top.
our answers are going to differ a lot. I think.
I assume you're putting him at bottom tier.
No, just go ahead with your answer. I'll
I
explain.
think I think he's probably top 5.
I think it is low mid tier, high bot tier. Um, and there's
You
a
think
lot of issues with him, honestly. Okay, well, first of all, this is more of a team thing. They completely blundered Alfari last split. He had such big leads, but they would constantly let teams camp him and take him out of games. While Santorin would be farming bot side, he wouldn't even help bot side because their bot side has such priority. They're always pushed in. So Santorin basically was a farm jungler last split. And he is not a farm jungler. Like, this guy is literally relevant because he facilitates for his team so well. That's what he did on FlyQuest. That's why he became the number 2 jungler in the league, and everyone looked at him. But last split, he was like, if you go back and look at the stats, he did nothing as far as helping lanes.
I think
And
Santorin's okay.
I just realized it like last week when I went back and looked at a bunch of stuff. And then like another issue was this whole health thing, dude. Everyone has been going workouts, and a lot of pro teams are making it mandatory and all. But apparently, from what I heard, Santorin was like skipping workouts and he was doing all this stuff. Um, and then it comes out that he has this giant health issue during the finals. And I don't know if those two coincide, but it does not look good for the guy who has been skipping mandatory workouts and not taking care of his body as much as the rest of the team. And then all of a sudden he has a physical issue that keeps him away from playing in the biggest matches. Um, so honestly, I don't think he is a top tier jungler anymore. And I don't know if it's because their playstyle changed and maybe he just doesn't fit in with the team as well. But
I don't know.
to
I don't. He
me,
didn't have an awful weekend.
no, and it's not like I'm saying like this guy sucks. He's the reason they hard lose every time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel like he has no impact. I feel like you stick Spica on that team and that team gets better. You stick Blabber on that team gets way better. You stick Closer on that team gets better. Like I just think like if I'm looking at junglers, I feel like all the top junglers, all the top tier, mid tier junglers do a lot more to help their team. Like even Dardoch, I don't think Dardoch's like some amazing jungler anymore. Like he's obviously skilled, but he's had so many issues in the past. But if you gave me a team right now and you told me, do I want Dardoch or do you want Santorin as your jungler? I'm gonna pick Dardoch because he does a lot more for his team.
I can see where you're coming from.
And
I think.
I think this weekend especially shows that if Alfari isn't dumpstering and Jensen's not ahead and their bot lane's not ahead, he just doesn't do anything and they just roll over and they lose. Like and they had some fight in the TSM game, but the Cloud9 game just looked horrendous. He was missing Volibear ult. He was never with like in front of the team at the right moments to secure these objectives. Like
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
see
just
where
feel
you're
I,
like
coming
he
I
from.
can
doesn't do
see it.
as I feel like he doesn't do as much anymore. And maybe that's something they have to work on because in the dive this week actually Kobe did say they had other issues, and when someone asked about if that was the Alfari issue after they benched Alfari, they were like, he was like, no, actually, Jat has been talking to him about some issue that has nothing to do with Alfari, so he was actually surprised by the Alfari benching. So another one of their players has been underperforming and has some bad stuff around them, and a lot of people think it's Core JJ, and a lot of people think it's Santorin, and they can't tell which one's which.
Be tactical.
Uh, People don't think it's tactical because tactical's a new player.
No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, that's TL.
Yeah. Dignitas.
Um,
Dakota, you wanna talk a little bit about Dig?
Dig continues to deny expectations, honestly. Last split, everyone kept waiting for them to drop, waiting and waiting and waiting. They were like, this team's not as good as their record. They're going to fall off. This team's not as good as their record. They're going to fall off. And they continue to do it. And I think this week was another proving point. I think a lot of the analysts, a lot of the people around the league, around the scene, came in and they said Dig is not the fifth best team in the league. They're gonna fall off this split. Like you're gonna see more and more as teams like Immortals and FlyQuest and people are predicting CLG to rise. You're gonna see Dig start to tank down further and further because they don't have high hopes for a team with Fate God and Saligo and Aframu. You know, you have all of these players that you wouldn't necessarily say are at the top of their position. But they continue to defy that. They went 2-1 this week. Again, I think they had one of the harder weeks. They had EG, Fly, and 100 Thieves, all teams that theoretically could beat Dig.
Yeah.
So coming in 2-1, I feel like that was a good start. And they once again, Dardoch played 3 unique junglers, I believe, and he's starting off the same way. He's completely showing that you don't have to have a champion pool. You can have the entire champion pool. You don't have to be limited to your 6 champions. You can play every single jungle champion and win with it. Um, and it's amazing to me. I am very interested to see how far this can go, and how much they can grow. And the one thing I have to look forward to is, do you think this team has hit their ceiling, or do you think they could continue to grow?
What I saw this week just seemed a lot like what they showed last split. Um, so just based off this 1 week, which is really hard to do, I'd say they didn't really grow that much in the off season. So I'd say they
Well,
might have hit
well,
their ceiling.
yeah, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking their peak performance, and I don't know when it was, but they're top of the top. Do you think that's as high as they can go, or do you think Saligo? Because obviously Aframu, you know his ceiling.
Yeah,
He's not getting any better. He's like one of the oldest, if not the oldest people in the league. Um, so you're really looking at the young three. You're looking at Neo. You're looking at Fake God. You're looking at Saligo. I think Neo has room to grow. I think Fake God has room to grow. To
I
me,
don't know
their
about
ceiling
Saligo.
goes as high as Saligo. That's what I was gonna say. He's never been one of the top players in academy or anything, so it's hard to say how high this team can go. But honestly, I don't think they've hit their ceiling yet, and I'm interested to see what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they had that hard of a week, to be honest. I mean, they had a 100 Thieves was their biggest, you know, the hardest matchup, and they lost that one. The other two, I mean,
Okay, look, coming in, all three teams are higher ranked on most people's power rankings to start split that they played. That's what I mean by harder week. I'm not saying like they had the hardest
harder,
teams in the
they're
league.
higher than
Like
Dignitas.
e.g. FlyQuest 100 Thieves. Yeah, power rankings. Because I think FlyQuest. So
I
most people's power rankings had Cloud9, Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, TSM, and then most people put EG, and then they put FlyQuest, Dig, because it was more like how do you think the split's gonna go power rankings?
I
But a lot of
honestly I
people are
don't
putting
see
Dig
any point.
down because they. Well, it's because looking at projections, Dignitas obviously exceeded expectations in spring, and FlyQuest obviously went way lower. FlyQuest was projected to be the fifth place team, which is where Dig sat, and a lot of people saw them coming in the split starting out better, and so they have them going back up and being. I
Okay,
wouldn't say necessarily above Dig in
Yeah,
the standings in power rankings, but they were right at them. And
right.
as far as that goes, they're the only team that played teams that were right at their power ranking or higher in every single game.
Yeah,
Like TSM, only team they played that was expected to be higher than them was TO. C9, obviously they were expected to be number one. The only two that were kind of there are TL and 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves, same thing. They only had C9. TL had TSM and C9, but they also had CLG. Like, as far as where you expect the team to be and who they played, I think Dig had the hardest week.
yeah. I think I think it'll really like the real test will when they play some of the
the higher
top tier
teams.
teams. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
for
think.
sure.
Because there's no way I would put FlyQuest above Dignitas in a power ranking. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't know. I think on paper,
Not after
FlyQuest is
1 week,
a pretty
but
good
I
team,
can
but
definitely see like coming into like near the end of the split. I definitely see a place where FlyQuest is higher than Dig because
mhm.
I feel like FlyQuest has a higher ceiling. I think Licorice has a higher ceiling than Fake God. I think Jose Dioto has a higher ceiling than Dardock. I think Palafox has a higher ceiling than Celico. Johnson probably has about the same ceiling as Neo, and then Dreams Afro probably about the same as well. So like looking at it from that perspective, I can definitely see putting Fly above because they can probably reach higher highs. The problem is this team hasn't gelled like they were supposed to.
Yeah,
Got you.
I think the talent's there. Yeah, but uh,
But
it's a long road.
yeah, moving on. EG probably the most disappointing week out of anyone. I mean,
I don't
CLG went on
even.
3, but
Yeah, but
this one just felt rough.
that base race, that TSM game, a base race versus a loss with Baron.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, that
I don't know
I
why
I
mean,
they
they
don't
were
know.
chose to
close to
do
ending.
that.
They were close to ending versus TSM. They
I don't
I
think
mean,
did they even get the
kind of
inhibitor?
close inning.
No, they
No, well,
they
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 they they
realized
didn't commit. That was a problem. They didn't
yeah they realized they had to
commit. They
back
started backing.
because he was already getting inhib when they were attacking tower, and they started backing, but Spica just stopped the backs
They
and
did a stutter step.
That
That
was
like honestly, if they would have committed to the inhibitor, lost may have backed off. I mean, it's hard
I
to
don't think
tell,
he would
but
have.
they did this stutter
Tristana or
step.
Baron
I mean,
buff?
yeah,
they would have gotten
obviously.
inhib, but I still don't think
Well, like
they would have.
okay, yeah, there's a world where lost doesn't, but like also you gotta think they started on the tower. They weren't even done killing the tower. Three of them back off to back. The other two still they break the tower. The other two kind of back off to back. They start going forward, like speaking them. They immediately cancel all recalls and then try to fight. And then one person tries to back, and they just completely like go back and forth, and they never made a profound decision. And
I
so
don't know.
loss just continued.
Well, I don't think. I don't know. I think they shouldn't even went for the towers
Yeah, I
because
mean, yeah,
I mean
yeah.
TSM had members up. They didn't have. I mean, they could have pushed and got inhib like max.
It was
But
obviously a
they're just
blunder,
trading
like
inhib.
a
Yeah,
big blunder. Because I think honestly, I think they probably were winning team fights at the time, right?
they were
Isn't that how
they
they got the push?
yeah they I think
Yeah.
they just won a team fight
So
or something like that. They got
they
a picker.
probably could have won the game, and that's the same thing happened in FlyQuest game. They were winning some of the team fights, and then they made a bad call, and then it all fell apart. So,
Mm, yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Like, you replace your 80 carry, but I assume their 80 carry wasn't their shot call, right?
no.
It
You would
just
think
looks
so.
like their whole team doesn't know how to like function together anymore. And And that's the big thing. Everyone talks about how you can replace an AD carry and get away with it because AD carries don't have to shot call; they just have to stick in their lane. But
They get
this
told what to
team
do
looks
mostly.
so different with Danny, and it wasn't even him. Like
No,
I felt like personally
Danny
he played
Danny
well.
yeah Danny
Yeah, he
played
played
well.
well.
It was just
He
it
looked
was
so different.
bad shot calling. I think I don't know, but I mean at least that's fixable. I mean it's not like you know you can definitely look back at the TSM game and say hey we should back here. Um, I mean Lost had Baron even so like I don't know, but that that's something that you can look back and definitively say hey this was a bad call. We need to not do this next time. Um,
It's definitely gonna be
whereas
interesting to see how bad they actually are. Because I
Yeah.
feel like this week is probably not a good test.
mm-mm.
So they're definitely a team to keep an eye on. Hopefully, they don't continue to fall because I always like having 6 or 7 really like decent teams in North America. I don't like when the top four are like
Are the only
the
good
only good
ones.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean yeah.
and coming into the next team here, the team I'm actually the most excited about, who in my eyes had the best weekend, the cleanest weekend, uh, the best games, Immortals with the 3-0.
Yeah,
They did
Yeah.
play two not so good teams,
two of the bottom tier teams, literally the
Last
but
last
two.
two plays. But
the thing that gives me hope that this team is the real deal, they smacked 100 Thieves. They smacked Golden Guardians, they smacked COG. If you go and look at how the top teams played those teams, Cloud9 lost to Golden Guardians. TSM had some shaky moments against Golden Guardians. So, out of the teams that played Golden Guardians, Immortals was the only team to smack them, even though they were projected last place team. Now you look at COG, another team they smacked. TL had a shaky early against COG. FlyQuest, I think it was kind of back and forth at some points in that game. Once again, the only team to actually smack around COG. And then 100 Thieves. They're the only team that beat 100 Thieves this weekend, and they did it convincingly. Like, I don't know if they just feel more confident and more comfortable now or what, but this team looks clean. They look crisp. They look like they know what they're doing. And they're an exciting team to watch. And
yeah,
I definitely think they could make a run for a top 5 spot.
Yeah, I
mhm,
definitely think the way they especially the way they played this weekend, if they keep that level of skill, I guess, up, I can see them being top 5.
I mean, yeah,
Those
it's
look good.
crazy. In 1 week, they made up 3 games on EG because EG went 0-3 and they went 3-0.
Yeah, they're tied
Like,
with them now.
yeah, it's crazy to think.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see how they fare in the coming weeks. Because
And they're only 5 games out from first place. Like,
right,
that's doable. Like, I'm not sitting here saying they're going to be first place, but they're not in a situation where, yeah, they're a really good team, but they're always going to be screwed because how bad they did. They did decent in
hmm
spring. They did not the best, but they put themselves in a situation where coming in hot here, they now are in a situation to fight for one of those top playoff spots. And if they can
yeah,
squeeze their way into top 4, I think this team could definitely make moves.
yeah, and if
Now
teams like Cloud9 and Liquid keep dropping 2 games a week, then getting up
there
there,
you go.
I
Gonna
mean,
get a whole lot
It'll be
easier.
easier and
yeah,
easier.
and yeah,
Obviously, it's hard to tell how strong they actually are after one
right,
week.
right,
They're
and they
gonna
played
need
the
to prove
bottom two
themselves.
teams, so yeah,
They did,
um,
but
but
they
they're
did
going
play
in
a
with
top 3 team as well. So
true, and they're going in next week with a lot of momentum, so we'll have to see how that and it'll
um,
be exciting to see how they fare against the top tier teams, and if they're comparable or if it was just a fluke or
Yeah.
last
well,
playoff team, FlyQuest. I feel like this was the FlyQuest everyone expected last split.
yeah,
Yeah.
they played
Licorice played really good. He was by far the best player on their team.
for sure,
Um,
like the Wukong and
hmm
the Gwyn, both of them were
Extraordinary.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and they seem like
Jose
licorice
Dioto
tips to the fix,
created
but
leads.
mhm,
Palafox went even or got leads. Their bot lane did decent. This was the team everyone expected them to be. The
mhm,
question is, can they do that versus the mid to high level teams? They did it against EG, they did it against COG, they had a decent game versus Dig. Now, can they do that against Team Liquid? Can they do it at 100 Thieves? Can they play good against Immortals? Can they play good against the rest of the teams? Like, maybe they don't have what it takes to take off a game off TSM or a game off Cloud9 or, you know, maybe not. But this team was always projected to be a top 5 team. So can
mhm.
they beat everyone around that area?
I
Because last
think
split, the only teams they were taking games off were the teams right above them or below them. They weren't
Yeah.
taking any games off top teams.
I think they're gonna climb off the back of licorice alone. I think
I hope so.
because he's known for carry top laners, and that's kind of the meta right now. I mean, you're seeing Nocturne top, you're seeing Gwen, Viego, Wukong. I mean, the tankiest top laner we saw was Gnar, right? Or was there?
I
Am I
think
missing someone? I mean, they played Lee Sin top, but like it's carry top laner. Like that's kind of the meta right now. And I think Licorice is
And,
obviously really
and
good at
Viego.
yeah, but
yeah.
I mean, but
uh, yeah, no, for sure. But
so yeah.
I think this team can definitely improve. So I'm excited to see how far they can go. I want to. I still don't. This is another team. I don't think they played their best yet. I want to see what this team can actually look like at their best. They're most confident.
Mhm.
So hopefully they continue to rise.
Yeah,
Our
and they're
next
exciting
team,
to watch anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, exciting for sure. Next team is a team that continues to defy expectations. When you think they're going to be bad, they're decent. When you think they're going to be good, they're bad. And they continue to be bad. Because this is a team looked at coming into the 2021 season as a team that was one of the more hopeful. They picked up
Uh,
a good top laner. They picked up a world semi-finalist in Broxa. They picked up Pobelter. They picked up Wild Turtle and Smoothie. This was a team that
yep.
had high hopes.
hmm
They completely obliterated those hopes in spring, and everyone started to doubt COG again. And at the end, what happens? They take back-to-back games off the two teams in the split, and they end on a high note. Everyone thinks, okay, this is the COG we were looking for. This is the one that's going to come into summer, and they're going to earn a playoff spot. and then you start the summer split with an 0-3.
Yeah.
How tragic is that?
It's it'd be disappointing to be a COG fan. I'm just gonna say that. Um,
Always
Man,
disappointing to be a
always
CFG
disappointing.
fan.
I think I
Um,
think a lot of their problem comes from Smoothie. I was looking at their games this week. Smoothie did not play well. I mean, he had an okay Karma game, but
Smoothie has not been a top tier
yeah,
support since
Smoothie's
he played on
yeah,
Cloud9. I'll be
Smoothie's
honest with you.
really not it.
He ain't it.
He ain't it. And
I'm just saying, Biofrost is not in the league anymore. And TSM chose Biofrost over Smoothie. And they chose them for a good reason. And so if Biofrost is no longer in the league, should Smoothie still be in the league?
no.
mm,
I think that's my. I mean, I don't think Smoothie's good anymore. I mean, I think he's peaked, and I think he's just gonna be
Maybe it's
destined to be on a bottom tier team.
maybe it's just not his meta. Like honestly, he played the best. I think his like peak was like around Ardent Sensor meta. Maybe that's his style. Maybe he wants to play the Lulus. I mean, he can now, I guess, but that's
yeah,
people are
she's.
still
I
playing.
mean,
People are still
they're
playing hard engaged, so I don't know.
yeah, kind of coming back. I mean, Karma's back. The Lulu
Coming
was
back,
played, I
she's
think.
coming back for solo lane. She's not coming back for the freaking bot lane.
Well,
I think Karma's
he,
the only support like non-engaged support that's been played so far.
wasn't Lulu played? No.
She's played top.
Lulu was played
She's played top and
top
mid.
and mid.
I don't think she's been played support yet.
Who was played with the Kog'Maw?
Karma.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wait, I don't even. Wait, no, I think Karma was played mid that game. That was 100 D's. Yeah, Karma was played mid. They played Braum or something with it.
Braum, that's right. It was Braum.
Yeah.
Yeah, Braum's good.
They just
He
been
played.
giving Karma to freaking Abadage. They don't even give it to Hui.
Well,
Yeah.
Braum's better. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not expecting much from this team. I mean, on paper they look good, but it's CLG.
Every analyst predicted them to come back and be better this split and to get in the playoffs.
Well,
They
what
were
to see? I
actually,
mean,
if you
with
watch the dive, they actually drafted their players over like Dignitas players. They would draft COG players.
yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean,
I
even
would
BOB didn't
say,
play well.
yeah. I
So
mean, it's possible they make playoffs, but I mean,
that's
just
crazy.
based off week one, I don't see how they IMT looked really good, Fly looked really good, obviously Dig looked really good. I mean, the only team that I could see them catching up with is EG, and that EG looked good. They just made some mistakes. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I was not impressed with week one. So
Not at all.
Golden Guardians, upset of the week. High fives all around for the boys.
Yeah.
Blaze Olive coming in clutch with that amazing Zoe play. This is the first week I have looked at their team and I have thought this team could be a playoff team. Honestly.
yeah, they played good in like pretty much all their games. I mean, the TSM one they were ahead for the first 15 minutes. I think. I mean, they started
Blaze
out
Olive played
strong.
good too, dude. He
Hmm.
had some great Lucian ults.
He did. Um,
Um
I think he got cut out once or something.
I
But
The,
as is, I don't think they're a playoff team. I think they could definitely easily be a playoff team if they get a better jungler. Like easily. Like pick up one of these top academy junglers. Iconic's okay, but he falls way too far behind. Like if you look at him some of these games, he's down like 40 CS or something. And it's kind of rough. It's kind of rough being like, okay, Blazov's ahead. Solo's going even. He's not dying. Their bot lane, I mean, they're down CS, but it's Stixay. He can team fight well. He still knows how to team fight. And then you look at jungle, and their jungler's out getting outclassed every game, and it's like, this team could be good. Like,
mhm.
they're one move away, and that's kind of crazy to me because this is the team that unanimously is the the bottom team,
yeah.
and they spent so little money.
I have to say they Golden Guardians didn't have as big as a lead on TSM as I thought they did when watching the game. Like their max lead on
No, it
TSM
was
was
not that
was
high,
1.5k,
Yeah, it wasn't that high,
which is
but
really
it
nothing. But
but they
in my
had
mind I thought it was higher.
they had a bunch of momentum. Like so, TSM I think was originally ahead, and then Golden Guardians made a bunch of plays that got them back to even, and then they made more plays that got them ahead. And so, like game state wise, yeah, they were only 1.5k ahead, but it looked like they were a lot further ahead than TSM.
yeah, they were making plays.
That's why I guess that's why I thought they were a whole lot farther ahead than they actually were.
hmm But as far as junglers, I mean, they could pick up someone like Armeo. I don't know if
That's what
Liquid
I'm
would
saying.
be okay with
Armeo's
dropping
Yeah,
Armeo, but
Armeo's
I mean,
good.
they put him in for Santorin in the TSM series, and he looked phenomenal. I mean,
like
you honestly couldn't tell the difference. So I mean, he's
a
definitely good
couple
enough to be in the league.
a couple options here. I have contracts still in academy. I think contracts is a good jungler. I think he'd be an upgrade. Maybe not as good as Armeo. You have Armeo, obviously. You have Xmithy. He's still in academy or somewhere. I don't know where he went. I think Medios is officially retired. He's now just hosting stuff. Sternfire, NXI. You have EG's jungler. I don't remember his name. You have a ton of good
Right?
young players
Yeah.
that are cheap. I
hmm
think they should pick up one of them because I think that 8th spot is contestable. You are 4 games behind, and there are some definite teams you could take games off of, and you could make a run for it.
Yeah, I definitely think
Do I think they do? No, I don't
no.
think they will.
They definitely can get 8th place, get into playoffs. But it is
I
going to be
don't see them
difficult.
making. I don't see
They're
them
not going to make a
making
move.
a roster change this split, and I don't think with their current roster they can. I mean, maybe they can. I mean, I think they might be able to get to ninth place over CLG, depending on how well CLG performs. Um, I mean, they did play pretty good this week. They really did. Um,
Wish I
and
see if that
then
can continue.
right, and then you have, I mean, everyone above CLG. Like, assuming EG actually starts playing well, I don't see them taking eighth place because every other team above them, I mean, in theory, I mean, you have teams like TL who didn't perform that well and Cloud9 who didn't perform that well, but I mean, obviously they're going to be up there. And then the middle teams like IMT, FlyQuest, they played really well. They played really well. I mean,
Yeah, but you just have to
albeit,
take 1 game off of them
Yeah,
to catch up.
yeah,
they're only one
true,
game
You don't have
one
to be
game
actually
behind.
better than the team. Like,
true,
you only
but
have to catch up 4 games. You only have to take games off teams one time, and you're caught up.
yeah, but you also wait. How many times they play three? How many
Yeah,
times
three
do they
times
play
each.
against
They
So,
TSM?
play
like,
each team 3 times.
all
Yeah,
that aside, maybe they're not a playoff team. But you're gonna tell me who the playoff teams are because we're doing our power rankings, boys.
Oh yeah, new
Here we
power
go.
ranking.
We're doing this weekly. Let's get right into it. Let's start at bottom. Can we all agree CLG is number 10 in power rankings?
yes,
Yeah, week 1 definitely.
Yeah. Well, it's going by week. So,
Got you.
yes.
um all right, so number 9. I'm going to put Golden Guardians. I don't think they proved enough that they're above my next team up, but they're certainly climbing. And if they can continue to play like they did, they will be maybe 8th. Who knows?
This is purely week by week, right? Like,
Well, okay, so it's going to be yes, mostly week by week, but you can also take into account what's happened over the split. But no last split. Last split is completely out of the equation. So right now it is
Okay.
just off week 1. So
yeah,
we have
I
them at number
think,
9.
yeah, I think Golden Guardians number 9.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
So it's like by potential too. It's not like just by how they perform week 1. So like
Right.
obviously I think EG performed worse, but I don't think EG's a worse team. So it's like
Okay.
power rankings. It's not like
Yes.
how they
Gotcha.
did week.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree with that then.
And so actually at number 8, I am going to put EG.
EG. Yeah,
I agree.
completely agree. I was gonna say that too.
Uh, they had an awful week. They didn't show a ton of upside. They made bad plays, um, and they're really going to need to bounce back in a big way. At number 7, FlyQuest. I think that's pretty solid, right?
Yeah, yeah, seven for FlyQuest is fine with me. I'm just looking at the number 6 spot, and I can't decide if I wanted to give it to Dig or Immortals.
I'm giving it to Team Liquid. They look lost. They like
They did look pretty
Yeah.
bad. I didn't even consider
like
them.
yeah, they obviously they have a lot of upside. They have a ton of player, but like you're talking about a team that replaced their best player. They look like a completely different team. And their one win was against the team we have ranked last. And even that game wasn't like for sure. Like
Yeah.
honestly,
I
if
mean,
this team didn't have such skilled players, I could have them at 8th. Like the fact that they have a really good mid, a really good bot, a really good jungle, and you know the best
A
top
top
laner
laner.
who actually plays, like that's the only reason they're as high as they are at
yeah.
6 for me.
No, I think I agree. I don't think I would put. I definitely wouldn't put Immortals at 6. I
No.
mean, yeah, they played really well this week. So
Here's
I
where we probably are going to differ. I'm guessing you guys have Immortals next.
I actually have Dig.
Ah, I don't know.
I have
Immortals
Dig.
looked
I have
good.
Dig. Immortals look
I
real good.
yeah. I think
Well, I don't know. Where would you put Cloud9 though? I
Cloud
mean,
Nine did look pretty bad.
Well, no, okay, so Cloud9 for me is right at where I'm going to put Immortals.
so like fourth and so I would say like I don't know. I
5th
would
and
probably
4th,
put
probably.
Dig and then Cloud9 and then Immortals
Yeah, that's probably what I was going to do as well.
and then
I would
100 TSM.
actually no. I think I go honestly like, and this may be an overreach. Obviously, I think I have Dig, Cloud9, 100 Thieves, Immortals, TSM. I think Immortals
You would
slots in
put
at number 2.
Immortals over 100 T.
Uh,
I don't know.
why not, dude? They smacked them. Look at this
That's a
week.
good
We're
point.
looking at
I
this
mean,
week.
you
Yeah,
They
got a point.
they
They did absolutely smack
absolutely
them. I
obliterated
you're
mean,
them
if
right.
you're
in game
only
You're right.
one.
You're
if
right.
you're only going off week
If
run,
you're
yeah,
going
it
off
makes
week
sense.
one, nothing in the past, you're right.
Well, okay. Well, if since we're going down this rabbit hole, why not Immortals first then? I bet
Okay.
they
So I
look kind
could
of
put them first. I could, but they beat the third best team. TSM beat the second best team. So like you do have to take that in consideration.
okay.
Now, there
So
is a very good case that Immortals could be first in this power ranking because TSM's wins were not as clean.
yeah,
Like that game versus TL, they tried to throw like 4 times.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
game
and
versus
then
Golden Guardians,
EG literally handed them the win. They were like,
yeah,
"Here,
and the
have
game
have
against
the
Golden
free win."
Guardians was shaky at some points too. So there is a world in which I do put Immortals over, but I'm not going to go as far to say Immortals is the best team in the league right now. I do
No.
think going into next week, if Immortals played Cloud9, if Immortals played TL, if Immortals played Dig, I think they would win all 3 of those games. And I can say that with confidence. That is why I have them at number 2. If they play TSM, I think that's a different. Maybe they don't. But I have a lot of confidence in this Immortals roster. And I have them at number 2. And that's not like it's not me saying, okay, yeah, they went 3-0. They're at number 2 now, but next week they're going to be back at number 7, blah blah blah. I fully think this team has the capability to be top 4.
I think it's possible, but just looking at the games they played, they did not play. They had one challenge this week. COG
Yeah,
and
but
Golden
like
Guardians were not a challenge.
so okay, look. To me, it is not about what you like, it's not about who you played. It's about what you did with who you played. Because if Cloud9 beat TSM 3 games in a row, but they were really close games, and then Immortals played a lesser team like Dig, and they absolutely wiped Dig, I would be a lot more confident in the team that absolutely wiped them because they show more that they know how to play the game the correct way to win games without question than a team that barely squeaks out a win against a better team. So
I
yes,
don't
they
know.
didn't have the hardest competition, but they showed they knew their win conditions and they played to it. Like that Jinx game, they completely just focused on getting Raze fed and Raze solo carried with Jinx. That's a very good sign to me.
I don't know.
Like
For
if it
me,
was just other teams playing bad, then it's different. But they just showed they knew they had a very precise game plan and they stuck to it and they played it out very well.
I don't know. To me, I'd be more impressed with TSMC. Say TSMC 9 last split, right?
Hmm.
Going to 5 games. Let's say TSM beats C9. C9 is a tough opponent last split. TSM takes it to 5 games, beats C9. I'd be more impressed with TSM beating C9 than I would be with Immortals 3-0ing like FlyQuest.
Well, yeah, no, they didn't play like FlyQuest every game though. They played 100 Thieves and like 100 Thieves deserves that number 3 spot. Like they absolutely smacked up on C9, which is supposed to be the best team in the league right now. They absolutely smacked up on Dig, who is supposed to be a top 5 team in the league right now. Like 100 Thieves is not bad. Like and they did better against 100 Thieves than TSM did in any game. And I think 100 Thieves is better than every opponent TSM played.
That's a good point, but I don't know. I'd still put. I think I don't know. Immortals and I wouldn't put Immortals second. I'd put them like third.
That's fair. But I just think like, and we'll talk about it more going into the next one. But like, Revenge is probably their weakest player, and he showed glimpses last split that he can be one of the top laners in the league. He was solo killing Ifari. Like Zergze has always been a consistent, a good jungler who has like a huge champion pool and is not afraid to pick random things, like almost like Dardoch. Um, Insanity is looked at as the best young mid laner. He is supposed to be better than Palafox. He's supposed to be better than Soligo. He's supposed to be better than a Blaze Olive. Like he is the guy who is supposed to be the next mid laner. Um, so you have him. Their bot lane.
His internet cut out. He sent a message in there. He's back.
I'm back. Sorry.
Anyway, in their bot lane, Raze is another one of those OS 80 carries that came over and has absolutely taken the league by storm. Pairing it with Destiny, who, if you guys didn't know, was a top 4 support in EU before he joined the team. Top 4, top 5. Like, it is not insane to think this team has a high. Like, they have good foundation.
Yeah.
They could definitely make moves.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to
So,
see. I think Raze is a really good AD carry, so I'm excited to see how
uh,
he does.
speaking of that, good segue. Next is our MVP segment called King of the Rift. We're each going to choose a player that we think really played immaculate this week and has put themselves into the MVP conversation so far this split. We have 1 week to go on, obviously, so
This is still a week by
um,
week thing, correct?
yes, week by week, and then at the end, near playoffs, it'll transition into more of an actual MVP discussion.
Gotcha.
Right now, it's going to be week by week. It's going to be kind of like a player of the week type thing. But near the end, we'll keep tallies with who we voted for, and we'll see who we think is the actual King of the Rift. Um, so right now, uh, I'm going to start it off
Yeah, go
because
for it.
Brandon was just talking about my man. I think Rays is 100% MVP of the league right now. The man showed that he can absolutely dominate in the late game carry meta. He can dominate in the whatever meta you want him to. He's playing Jinx, he's playing Tristana, he's playing Kai'Sa, he's playing all the 80 carries, and he's smacking with each of them. This
I
guy is good. And I thought, honestly, when he came into the league, I was shaky, you know? I was like, is he better than some of these other AD carries? Like, is that really who they went for? Like,
think
Sneaky's there, you
yeah, I
know?
think he
Whatever's
was.
there. Like, there's a bunch of free agent AD carries.
I think he played at Worlds last year, and that's where I first saw him, and I saw that he was like pretty good. And then I saw he
Hmm.
was coming over, and I was like, yeah. I mean, I don't know that he's gonna be like the best in the league, but I knew he was gonna be a strong player. And actually, that's who I was gonna say first. But
I
since you picked
saw it.
him, yeah, since you picked him, I think I'm gonna say yeah, I mentioned him earlier in the podcast, but I'm gonna say Licorice actually. I think the meta really suits him, and I think he played really well. And I'm really, really excited to see how he plays, the rest of the split. And I'm excited for, because to see these champions that he plays, like I'm excited to see him play more Gwyn and more Wukong and maybe even pull out Lee Sin. I'm excited to see some carry top lane games. And like I said before, I honestly think that like he's going to be the star of FlyQuest this split. If Licorice does well, I think they win games. Um, so that's who I'm going to say. I think he performed really well this week, and I'm excited to see how he does next week.
Dang, I was actually gonna say Licorice. So Dakota took yours and you took mine. So
Really?
yeah,
Neither of you had
Trevor,
the other one I was thinking of.
Trevor say Xerxes.
no.
Xerxes? Yeah.
Uh,
No. Come on. You guys are literally a fan of the
I was
team,
gonna say
and you're not even gonna
Spica.
say,
Spica or
"Oh,
Lost.
really?"
Lost played really well too.
Lost played really well, but he only played one champion.
Was the Lost
I
who
was
you're gonna
gonna
say,
say
Dakota?
it's Power of Evil, dude.
Power of Evil?
Coming back for vengeance, dude. That game one solo carry on Viego played
Yeah.
he played Riftmaker Oriana.
He
Like,
did
come
play
on,
really.
this guy.
I don't know. It's really like I think that people from TSM played really well, but it's a lot more like it grabs you a lot more when you see people on bottom tier teams play like really freaking well.
My
Like
Yeah,
my
like you
my
see
official one's gonna be Spica.
but
Suga
come
played well too.
on, guys. Power of Evil with the ults on Oriana, saving the game versus Golden Guardians. Like, oh my
Power
god.
of
He played
Evil.
well.
Power of Evil
But
played well, but
the thing I was talking about is expectation. Like
yeah,
the top teams, the players on TSM are expected to play at this specific level, and obviously the players on the bottom tier teams are still expected to perform really well. But when you see them come in and they perform super well on a bottom tier team, versus some of the middle team, whatever, it looks so much better. Like Power of Evil played phenomenal, and maybe he does deserve to be on the list. But you play like Power Evil, and then you have players like Licorice who performed not that well last split, and then he comes in game or week one and he performs really well. Um, I think it just grabs you more, like it pulls your attention. Um, so I don't know. I do think Power Evil played really well. I think Lost played really well. He might, in my opinion, be one of the best performers on the team. Um, Spiga played well as well.
I don't know.
So
In my mind, I'm thinking Spica's very consistent. He had really good rumble ults. He played really well on Udyr. But then I go to Lost in my mind, and I keep replaying
Lost
the 1v2
Lost
outplay
made some
under
plays,
turret,
yeah. Yeah, he made some plays, man. And
supercharging the wave. But the only reason I'm not gonna give it to him is because he's only played Tristana.
well, yeah.
So I'm
I
gonna
get-
give to Spica because he's such a consistent, like he made such a difference top lane. Uh, just
I'm gonna I'm gonna
especially
go with Alfari.
yeah, Afari player of the week.
Yeah.
Dude, uh, headline of the week goes to Double Lift in his Team Liquid versus Cloud9 game. His title is Insane Sven versus Alphara 1v1 in Cloud9 versus TL game.
Yeah,
That's actually funny.
that's actually really funny.
Uh,
Yeah,
so
that's
that's our week
yeah.
one King of the Rift.
And it'll be
Uh,
interesting to see especially how Raze and Licorice perform. I mean, like Spica and TSM, they're expected to play really well. Because they're on the number
it's
one team
interesting.
right now.
Speaker has
Um
never been considered a true MVP candidate, so
I
mhm.
think he's I think he's top 3 junglers easily.
Right.
Hey, no, I had him top 3 last split. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think everyone was sleeping on him. Everyone was saying, and that's 100% my whole point here. I've never looked at Santorin and said that guy can do more than Spica can do. Like, I don't know. I just feel like Spica's always been like so mechanically rich, and he's always had these amazing steals, and he's always done so much for his team. I've always thought Spica's been one of the better junglers. Like, especially like watching Cloud9 and TSM play, it's so stressful. Cause like other teams, I'm like, okay, that jungler's just gonna roll over. That jungler's just gonna roll over. When they play against TSM, I know Spica is gonna be at that scuttle crab fighting Blabber. He is one of the only ones who will consistently contest and try to actually fight Blabber. Like all these other junglers just sit there and they're like, okay, yeah, he's gonna outfarm me. He's gonna take my camps. Maybe I'll try to gank opposite side of him. They're never gonna try to outdo Blabber,
Yeah.
and it's annoying. But Speak has always been a guy who steps up and he's like, hey, maybe my mid laner roams earlier and we get the kill. And they've done that so many times. And he's always been a menace. And I just think Spica is definitely one of the more talented junglers. And he's
Yeah.
young too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So those are our picks
for week 1.
for week 1, and we'll see how they do next week, and maybe they'll continue to be our picks, or maybe we got some new picks coming.
All right. So next is predictions. Since there's 3 days, we're each
Yep.
gonna predict a day. Uh, I guess I'll take Friday if you guys don't mind. I'm looking at the
Travis got
schedule.
Friday.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm doing
What up?
order of the games.
Brad, you got Saturday.
Okay.
All right, all right. So first game is TSM versus 100 Thieves.
Mhm.
Uh, the way TSM's been playing, I can see them dropping to 100 Thieves, but because I love TSM and I believe that they're gonna improve and even get better at their team fight, I'm gonna predict TSM.
TSM.
Uh,
All right.
EG versus Immortals. Gonna go with
Why do you say
Immortals.
immortals? Why are you saying immortals? It's
Immortals.
immortals.
Immortals is gonna be EG. EG looked bad. Immortals looked
Okay.
great. FlyQuest versus C9. I really hope C9 wins. Uh,
You don't have to say it for me. Just predict, man.
all right. I'm gonna predict FlyQuest beat C9.
All right. Next.
Liquid versus Dig. Dig's gonna win, and then the match of the week. Golden Guardians versus CLG. Uh, Golden Guardians is gonna win.
This is
Yes,
how Golden
sir.
Guardians gets back.
Yeah,
This is how they come back.
this is how they beat.
Dude, if they win this game, they're actually tied in
They're
the
actually
standings for
tied for
COG.
last.
Tied for last.
Game of the week.
I don't like how you said it, but yeah.
Tied for last.
All right, Brad. Looking at Saturday. Go
Do
down
I
the
do
list
I need
for
to
me.
give points as to why I think said team is
You
going to win, or do I
don't have to
just
get points. Just go down.
rapid
Just
fire?
rapid fire. We're just gonna take these predictions, and we each get 5 a week. We're gonna keep up with how many people get right, and we're gonna keep that for the whole split long. So right now, I have Trevor's all listed out here, nice and pretty. You're gonna make your predictions. I'm gonna list them out. I'm gonna make my predictions, and we're gonna see who the best is.
All right.
All right. Well, okay. First off, 100 Thieves versus Golden Guardians. I think that one's going 100 Thieves. Um, should be, I think, kind of close. I don't know. I don't think that one's gonna be too hard for 100 Thieves. FlyQuest versus TSM. I'm gonna say TSM, although that's gonna be a close game. I think. I think it just depends on the top lane matchup. Liquid versus EG. That one's probably going to Liquid. Although I could see it going to EG though, but I'm gonna predict Liquid. Cloud9 versus CLG.
COG.
I mean,
I
they
low key
lost the
want to
Golden
predict CLG.
Guardians.
I low key do want to predict CLG.
You know how big of
Cause
a brain you look like you have.
um,
Just do it,
I
dude.
no,
Don't be
I'm gonna
pansy.
I'm gonna predict Cloud9 because I want to get it right. And then I think Immortals versus Dig is gonna be a really good matchup. I think.
Nice,
And I
easy
think
clap.
Huh?
Nothing. I don't want to. I don't want to sway you. I don't want to sway you.
I think it is going to go to Immortals, but I think it's going to be heavily dependent on the jungle matchup. Xerxes versus Demonte is going to be a fun matchup to watch, and hopefully Demonte picks an interesting champion.
These are off the cusp for Sunday. Haven't even looked at these yet. Easy peasy. We're gonna go down the line. You ready? First
Yeah,
game:
man.
FlyQuest
Yes, sir.
Golden Guardians. FlyQuest. Not even a challenge. Golden Guardians is good. FlyQuest is better. Simple as that. Team Liquid versus Immortals. You're talking about a top 4 team versus the bottom tier team in
Versus Team Liquid.
exactly. Immortals free win. And by the way, I think we're all predicting that Alfari's not going to be in this week because if Alfari is
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
Yeah, if
these
Alfari is in,
predictions
then
If
they're
Afari's
kind
in,
of
I
these
want to
predictions are
switch.
kind of bold. They're kind of bold. That's all I'm saying. If Alfari's in, anyway, moving
I said
on.
Liquid.
Yeah, but you said it was going to be very close.
I said it was close,
COG
though.
versus TSM. Now,
CLG got a hard week.
They do have a
COG
hard week.
should lose this game, but their name is Counter Logic. And what is the most TSM thing to do?
To throw
Lose
to
to
CLG.
COG, lose to COG when they're the best team in the league. So COG's winning this game. All right,
I can see that.
Cloud9 versus Dig. I think, like last week, Cloud9 is going to start rocky. They're going to have a rocky second game, and then they're going to play good on Sunday. I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to play a clean game versus Dig, and everyone's going to be like, I can't tell with this team. They're losing to bottom tier teams, but they're beating Dig, and that's what's going to happen. C9 over Dig. And last but not least, EG versus 100 Thieves. If EG win this game, I don't know. I'll smack my head with a freaking pin or something, because that's not happening. This game's 100 Thieves all the way.
You should write that down. The pin thing.
Their
You should write
guarantee.
that down.
Oh man. No, I mean it's possible. It's possible for them to win, but I think 100 Thieves is one of those teams that's going to get better every single week, and I think this week they're going to be better than they were last week. EG is going to be more dysfunctional because they're going to try to figure their problems. Toss that out the window. 100 Thieves, close game. No, it's not going to be a close game. Not a close game.
Do you guys want
That's
to do
the prediction.
guarantees for this week?
I actually had, instead of guarantees, this week I was going to skip this week just to do something that we were going to do before the split started,
Okay, that's
which
fine.
is
That's fine.
the playoff seed, like the end of split predictions.
Got you. Yeah, that's fine.
Because we did power rankings earlier, and those are week to week. So this is a final, uh, final thing. Very end of the split. What 8 teams are making playoffs, and what is their order?
All right, I'll go first. In order: TSM, 100 Thieves, C9, Dig, TL, uh, EG, Immortals, and you know what? I'm gonna throw in a risky one in there. Do I want to? Yeah, I'll do it. Golden Guardians
Okay.
is gonna hit eight. Is
TSM.
gonna get 8th place.
Who'd you put number 2? 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves, C9.
D9. Who was fourth?
Uh,
Dig.
Dig then TL,
Theo. Mortals.
Immortals, EG, Golden Guardians.
EG. Golden Guardians. All right. Wow. Wow, Trevor. You are either a genius or you're dumb.
Well, my brain's really big, so.
Big
You got a
brain.
big. You got a big head. Doesn't mean you have a big brain. All
Okay.
right, Brian. Let's see what you have for us. I want some crazy picks. Trevor showed some crazy picks, dude. All right, he put Golden Guardians in there. I don't want no cookie cutter exact same as last split, Brian. Because if that's the case, you could find yourself a new team to do a podcast with.
Um, I probably will go with TSM first.
Okay.
Then probably Cloud9, I think.
Now this is 27, 20. Well, it's 24 games in the future now. All right.
Mhm.
hard to predict, but hey.
I understand. I'm just saying you put TL kind of low for 24 games in the future.
Yeah, I actually think I'm gonna put TL next, just because I don't think they're gonna keep Alfari out. I think he's gonna come back eventually. And then I think I will go 100T, Immortals, Dig, Fly. Am I missing somebody?
You need one more. Yeah.
I'm just making sure I'm not missing one of
You
those.
don't have EG in there. They're 6th. I don't know if you want EG in there.
I mean, I'll read off the teams for you if you want.
No,
You,
I'm trying to decide if I also want to go gold. Probably EG. I think EG
you-
played well, and I don't see Golden Guardians making up that gap. Although I think they did play well, it's a big gap.
Yeah, but Ablaze Olive's
I mean,
not
you
very
had
good.
Immortals above Dig. I guess that's kind of bold. You guys don't know how to do power ranking, so
Alright,
you're
Dakota,
you're
first
trying to be
place, Golden
right.
Guardians.
You're trying to be right, not stupid. All right. First place, Cloud9, Ease Clap. All right.
Fair
Listen to me.
enough.
It's not the league of TSM. All right.
It
It's
is.
just
It
not. I'm
is.
It
sorry.
is.
They
No, it
did
is.
good 1 week. They did amazing at the
It's
start of
summer
last split too.
split, dude. It's summer split.
Yeah, you're right. How many times have those 100 summer splits did they finish first place regular season?
I don't know, but this is the first time they went 3-0 in the first week, so
Because the first time they have 3 games.
Well, in your face.
first time they
You
first
saw
time
me?
they won first time they won game 1 though.
Anyway, Cloud9's on top. All right, let's be real. They have
In a
perks.
while.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Number
Sure.
2 is 100 Thieves. Number 3 is TSM. Let's be real. No matter what split it is, no matter how good TSM is, they've only had 117 in one split, and every other split, they have had a hard dive mid split. All right, that's just a TSM thing. All right, they're gonna start losing games somewhere. Team Liquid is fourth. All right, they have too good of a record and too good of a skill level to be lower than fourth.
You think Alfari's
That's
coming
just
back
being
in?
honest.
No.
Alfar is 100% coming back in. All right,
Yeah.
there's no world in which, well, okay, there is a world in which they sign a import jungler. That is the only case Alfari stays out. Is if they sign another import for the jungle because they need an import slot. But other than that, there's no world Alfari stays out.
Yeah, I made my TL prediction forgetting that Afar is probably coming back in. But
Yeah,
I'm
so
sticking with
I
it.
mean, the thing is it matters how long you think Alfari is going to be out.
Yeah.
And I think sixth is a good prediction if Alfari misses a elongated period of time. To me, I think he's out 1-2 more weeks tops. I don't think he makes it to the end of the first round robin without being in the starting roster, unless, like I said, they bring in an import jungler. If they do bring in an import jungler, I still think they get better, so I still think they're fourth. Where am I at fifth? Who do I have? I agree with Brandon here. Immortals is on the rise. Immortals would be better than TL if they did not start 6-12 this split, or 6-11. I mean 7-11. I can't get my stuff straight. All right, Dignitas. This is hard. Are they next? I think so. I don't
You're
think
fine.
they're better than FlyQuest. I don't, honestly. But I think it's EG then Fly. Dig EG Fly.
You think Fly's
Uh,
gonna keep that eighth place?
no, I think 100%. Like, there's a case where COG swoops in and takes a playoff spot. I don't think Golden Guardians will, like I said, unless they make a swap. EG's got, they're too far ahead, honestly. Like, they're 5 games ahead right now of ninth place. So COG or whoever would have to win 5 games for them to drop out of playoffs. They'd have to win 5 more games than EG this split, and that's just not happening. So EG's 100% in. FlyQuest is 2 games behind, and I think EG's going to find themselves somewhere, and I don't see FlyQuest pulling ahead. I feel like at best FlyQuest evens it out. So I think FlyQuest is right at number 8. Um, so yeah, maybe mine's not the craziest, but at least I had someone other than TSM in the number 1 spot.
You just wait. You just wait.
Listen, TSM's a good team. I really think they are, but at the end of the day, TSM is only as good as their synergy because
Our friendship.
they don't have the ceiling Cloud9, Team Liquid, if Team Liquid has Alfari, or even 100 Thieves now. Like, TSM has great individual players. They just, to me, they don't have the players to make the next step. Do I think TSM's a team going to Worlds? Yeah, I think it's going to be Cloud9, 100 Thieves, and TSM. And I solely think that because I don't believe in TL right now with Santorin. I think that's a huge issue, and I think they're having a lot more internal issues than Alfari, and we have seen one part of that. I think Cloud9's internal issues were literally just Vin. I think TL is having a big implosion issue, and I think that's going to keep them from Worlds this year. And so I think Cloud9, TSM, 100 Thieves going to Worlds, but TSM's known to falter a little bit. They've also been known to experiment more. I think with Reaper at head coach, 100 Thieves just gonna be gunning for wins. Like, so I think they're a lock for number 2. I like all of our power rankings, or in the split power rankings, I guess. I
Yeah,
really wanted to put COG in playoffs, but I just can't. Like, who do they replace?
everyone.
Like you'd have to say, you believe that EG is just going to continue to fall. Because I don't think there's a world in which they replace FlyQuest. Because FlyQuest, it shows that they're going to continue to get better. The only way you say they're going to go in playoffs is if EG continue to tank and continue to tank and continue to tank. And I don't believe that. I believe they start to get better. And I even believe they take number 7 spot like Trevor. But like Golden Guardians, eh.
Yeah, I really just want it to happen though.
It's a long
I know you
split.
do.
It's a long
It's a long
split, and I want it to happen, so I had to put it.
I respect it. I don't respect Cloud9 third, dude. You're smoking weed.
split.
I think
Okay.
TSM's better than 100 Thieves.
We'll have to wait
See,
and
that's
see.
the thing.
We'll have to wait, I guess.
Okay, last thing to do is the guess set champ, guys. Let's finish it off with a banger. I was gonna go on another rant.
No,
Who's
You guys want to make it a quick one?
sure.
A one champ one?
yeah,
Who's the one?
we'll do a one champ. It's
Is it
Brandon, right?
Yeah, it's
yeah?
Brian.
Okay.
All right.
I think I have the
Is it a
champion.
human?
Yes.
It's Jin.
No.
That's my
Trevor,
guess.
you use your
That's
guess
my
for this.
yeah. That's my guess for this round.
Okay,
Uh,
you get a guess.
I'm waiting for his
you're gonna
question.
wait for
I'm
my
not
Oh,
question.
stupid.
okay, yeah, sure.
So it's human. Is it a male?
No.
Boom. Shaka laka laka. I wait. There's a lot of humans that are females.
Yeah, you might. I mean, you might as well just shoot a guess. You could get it right.
Is it Jinx?
No.
All right. Ask your question, Dakota.
Is this human chick? Um, this is gonna give it away. I think she's human. Does she play with tentacles?
No.
All right. Well, that eliminates one person.
Nah, you eliminated one more champion.
Does this champion?
I would have got it right if she said yes, though, like 100% of the time.
Yeah, but you literally could have asked a better question and then said, "Is it a Lowy?" and you would have done the exact same
All
thing.
right. All right.
Yeah, but now I still have my guess. I still have my
is
guess, and I
is
know
this
it's not allowed.
champion? Is this champion ranged? Is it a range
No.
champion?
No.
I have a guess. Is it Riven?
No.
Who's a woman? Is it
A lot of-
Sejuani?
No.
All right, Dakota.
You're
Is
gonna
this
eliminate one
chick
more person?
throw knives?
Huh? Does she
Does
throw
this chick
knives?
throw knives?
No. Alright, so it's not Katarina.
It's a
Good job.
you're killing it, Dakota.
Another champion down.
Dude, I'm getting two guesses around essentially, guys. It's a
Is
bold tactic, but it's working.
is this champion AD?
Yes.
Okay, I'll use
I'm
my
out of
guess.
champions.
I'll do a guess. Is it Riven or not? I already guessed Riven.
You already
Irelia.
guessed Riven! No, you
Irelia.
don't have another one!
That's the one I meant. I meant Irelia. Is it
No.
Irelia?
No.
That'd be cheating if it was, because she throws blades.
You said knives though.
Yeah.
Her ult is throwing knives, dude.
It used to be.
Does she really throw them though?
She doesn't. She doesn't hold them.
I
So
mean,
you
they're
can't throw something
technically
you don't hold.
blades. No. Dang, dude. Honestly, and you said she was AD.
Yeah, AD female check.
I'm out of champions, dude. The only one I had was a Akali, but she's AP. Wait,
I'm actually blanking.
is
on
it?
people.
Is it Shyvana?
No. If it was Shyvana, I would have said she's AP because no one plays her
Wait,
AP anymore.
why didn't you ask your question first?
I haven't guessed on the other round, Trevor.
That was his guess.
That was your guess for this round. Okay.
My question is this champion a jungler?
Not typically, no.
Not typically.
That doesn't give me anything. Actually, I don't know any female AD
I
junglers.
don't think she's usually played jungle. Although there have been cases where she's played jungle, but rare, if ever.
An AD.
I know who it is.
I mean, you haven't guessed this round.
I have no idea who it is.
Oh, you have no idea. Okay. Is this champion a top laner? Traditionally.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I got that already when you said she's kind of played jungle some, because the only champions that are played jungle are top laners. But who? I don't know a melee AD champion that's AD besides Irelia and Riven.
That's where I am.
I was gonna feel so stupid.
Is it Gwen? She's AP though.
No, not Gwen.
Hold on, dude. I'm a top laner.
You were a top laner. Not anymore.
I can do this.
Maybe. I haven't been
80
counting
chick.
questions.
She
I think.
I
I
have
think.
not been
AD.
I think that's 10.
10. Wow, halfway.
She's
I
attack
did better
damage.
than I thought.
She is not ranged. Garen's a dude. It's not
Garen
Garen.
is a
Stop
dude.
saying Garen.
Good job.
You gotta guess soon. You gotta guess
My
soon.
brain keeps saying Garen. I want to say. I'm gonna guess Garen. Yeah, I don't want to take up too much of your time.
It's not Garen. Not Garen. All right, ask
Um,
a question, buddy. Dakota,
Oh, it's my
yeah, it's your question.
Yes, yes.
I don't have a question. I mean, you've pretty much given us the answer. I just don't know the answer.
Ask. I mean, there's still some questions you could ask.
I just remembered.
Is this champion a tank?
No.
I just remembered 2 female champions that are AD.
They play top.
They have been
Frick
played
you.
top, and they have been played
What's-
jungle.
Who?
Is it Camille?
Yes, it's Camille.
Oh yeah, Camille. Who's the other one, Trevor?
Fiora.
Fiora. That's another one. I play top. I play top.
Yeah, the jungle thing is
It's
what
Camille.
gave me the Camille answer because Fiora.
It
I've
is-
never seen Fiora play jungle.
It is Camille. You are correct.
I cannot
There you
believe
go.
that.
That is this week's episode of the
Yeah.
Wombo Combo.
Don't forget to interact with
Like,
the
comment,
video.
subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. We're excited to be back. Hopefully, we'll be
Yep.
doing this on a weekly basis. And we'll see you later. Peace.
Yeah.